Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mowunmi and this is Unisports. If you're visiting here for the first time, you're welcome. I talk about books, life experiences, movie reviews, talk about faith, and if any of this sounds like something you're interested in, you want to click on the subscribe button, hit on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video, and of course you want to share with friends and family because this particular content is gonna wow you. I mean, it's something you're definitely interested in. Today I'm talking about a movie titled In My Circle. In My Circle. It has a setting in a high school, right? And the major character, the major main female character there is Brittany, right? Oh, funny Brittany. Brittany, right, happens to be in her final year in high school, and she had a circle of friends that she moved with, right? And to be in that circle of friends, you have to, there are some requirements for you to be a part of that circle of friends. I know we've all been there, like, right, in high school, where we have people who are our friends, or we have this particular set of people that you cannot just refer to yourself as their friend because don't just fit. Right? So in the case of Brittany, the requirement is that first you have to not be on scholarship. And I mean, that's number one. For you to be in that circle of friends, you have to not be on scholarship. Also, you shouldn't date anybody in that school, right? So if you're in that circle of friends, you can't have a boyfriend in that school. And then lastly, you have to be from a very rich family. And I mean, if I were to be in that school, I wouldn't qualify a bit, because if I had the opportunity to be on scholarship, and if I wanted to be friends with any of the male students in that school, and I'm not from a rich home, so those are the requirements to be in that group. There are just 3 of them. And so Brittany, who just lost her dad, I mean, they didn't say much about the father, but I guess the father died sometime just before the beginning of the movie. And so she joined the school, and from the first scene we saw how Brittany and her 2 friends were walking, like coming back from school, and then they got to a particular beautiful building. Brittany stopped there and said, "Oh, so this is my house." And they were like, "Oh, are you kidding? Oh, so sweet, very beautiful. Little wonder I didn't want to show us your house. It's so beautiful." And she was like, "Oh yeah." And they're like, "So can we come in?" And she was like, "No, I have to first tell my mom." She was like, they were like, "Are you a mommy's girl? Do you have to tell your mom before you do everything?" And she was just like, I don't want to invite you in today. Maybe some other times, then you can come in." And then the friends walked away. So she was just standing in front of the building, and then we saw another young guy, like a boy, right, in a uniform. And he was like, "Oh, Brittany, hello." And she was like, "Hi." And the guy was like, "So what are you doing out here?" And she was like, "What do you mean, what am I doing out here? Because this is my house." And the guy was like, "Oh, good, then let's move in together, then let's go inside together, because this is also my house." And it's like, funny, I'm a very funny person. This is actually not my house. I was joking. And then awkwardly she walked off. And that was the beginning of the many lies that she told in that movie. I mean, Brittany, said a lot of lies to a friend. Like, she literally lived a fake life from the kind of work her mom did. So she said that her mother is a politician, when the mother, as a matter of fact, hawks pure water. And then we saw in another scene how the mother got a job, like just to improve their living, right, standard of living. And then we saw in another scene where the mother was saying, "Brittany, guess what?" And she was like, "Mom, what?" And the mother was like, "I just got a new job." And she was like, "Okay." And the mother was like, "As a cleaner in your school." She was like, oh no, mom, tell me you're not taking that job. And but I was like, I am taking the job. And she was like, no, mom, you can't take that job. How can you come and be a cleaner in my school? And I know that that might not really be good enough. Like, you might not really be good enough and be proud of that as a child. You know, being the daughter of a cleaner in a very big school, you know. However, if that's how your parents can cater for you, I mean, you should be proud of what they do, right? My mom is a janitor. I don't think there is anything, so if you didn't have to mention, or why do you even have to mention in the first place? So she would get to school every morning, and then this same guy whom she lied to about staying in a particular building that belongs to the guy, you know, she was gonna step out from the class one day and she missed a step, and the guy was like, oh sorry. She's like, oh thank you. So the guy saved her from falling off, and she was like, thank you for not allowing me ruin my uniform from Turkey. And the guy was like, oh sorry. And she was like, well, my mom actually got this particular one from Turkey, there's another one from the US, and all those sort of lies. And so what's the moral of this movie? I mean, it was them. So at some point she actually had to lie against her mom to remain in that circle of friends, because the friends eventually found out that her mother is a cleaner, and then they were really pissed off because of that. They found out that she, like, you know, that she stayed in another house apart from the one that shielded them. And then there was this cousin of hers that came to stay with them, you know, that came to stay with her and her mom in the house. You know, that one side attended the same school with her, and then she saw how Brittany and her friends, you know, react, you know, badly towards others. And you know, there was in fact a day when Brittany and her friends were beating up a particular student, treating her badly just because she was on scholarship. And only for the cousin came to stand for the girl, right? And then later on at home, as they were talking one of those days, the cousin found out that Brittany is also on scholarship, and she was like, are you on scholarship? And she was like, if anybody finds out in school, no, you're dead. And you know, so what is the moral of this film, right? I'll start with the popular proverb that my elder sister loves to, you know, use every now and then. My elder sister gave birth to my beautiful 1-year-old niece now, right? You see one of her videos down there, like in one of the content I've uploaded, she would say in our language that Akin Tokonra Kodimeji. That is, you don't over pamper your only child and then get 2 children for it. At the end of the day, you now end up having 2 kids instead of that one. So when you have a child, right, the Bible says train up a child in the way it should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. They will never forget. And which is why we have a lot of teenagers out there, a lot of youth out there that are frustrated, because you know, they are confused. They don't know what to do with their life, right? And they don't know, you know, they don't even know where to pick it from. When people introduce stuff to them, when their peers introduce stuff to them, they just take it, hoping to find life, meaning life in that. The Bible says, train up a child the way it should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. Let me tell you, no matter how astray they go, no matter how far they go, if they have a foundation in Jesus, I mean, they will always come around. But if they do not even have any foundation, if you've not introduced Christ to them, if you've not introduced any morals to them, if you keep pampering them, feeling like saying you don't want them to feel bad, they will eventually feel bad, because you know, this life is not just fair. It's not just one to be harder on them when they don't have anything to you know, fall back to. Train up a child the way it should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. So Brittany's mother made a mistake of, you know, thanks to my sister, like my niece is just a year old, and you know, she knows stop, she knows don't go there, You know, if you say no, if she's trying to do something, I actually uploaded one of the videos on my YouTube channel. She was trying to, you know, do something on the tape, like she wanted to watch one of her favorite cartoons, Jim Jam, and then, you know, she clicked on, she was going to put on the tape herself, and I was like, no, don't do that, no. She wanted to power on the tape, but I just said no, because, you know, one of these days she can just go to the extension or something to do something she's not meant to do. And as soon as I said no, she stopped and looked at me. She actually stopped. So from when they are very, very young, she's just a year old, from when they are very young, do not hesitate. Do not hold back rebuke from them. They will not die from, you know, your scoldings with words, with face, right? This is Africa, or wherever you find yourself, or wherever you are, you know, with face, with words. Do not hold it back, because life will really treat them badly if they don't know what to do, if they don't know their right. Let them be able to let them be able to withhold let them be able to withhold no from people. So if people tell them no, they move on. They are not even touched by it, they are not affected by it. But when you don't want them to feel bad from when they are young, like you literally want to protect them from everything, from, you know, they'll just end up and they will feel life will treat them the same way. Life will not. So know when, train them, tell them no, tell them they can't have some things when you feel it's not right for them. Tell them they can't go some places. Tell them they can't be friends with some people. Let them know now when they are young, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. Yeah, because they owe nobody apology. They owe nobody nothing. If people don't want to be their friends, then good. They can just be their own friend. So earlier today I was praying, and you know, this prayer just came to my mind. At some point I was feeling bored. I was like, oh, you can't be feeling bored. You can't be feeling bored because you're by yourself, right? And as I was praying, I stood up, I was praying, and this prayer point just came to my mind. That God, let me find companion in you. Let me find companionship in you. God, let me find a friend in you. That was the prayer. And as soon as the prayer dropped in my mind, like, I was so excited, because I realized that you can actually be my friend. You can actually keep me company. So let them know they can be by themselves and be fine. Let them know they can socialize with the right set of people. And then, you know, they'll be good. Train up a child in the way it should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. Moving on next, Brittany. What's the moral in all the things that Brittany did? Like, she didn't do well, and I wasn't too proud of all the things that she did, right? So first, as a teenager, here's the lesson for you, that you can actually be okay by yourself. Growing up, I didn't have too many friends, I must tell you. In fact, most of my friends from junior high school, senior high school were Muslims, so we didn't share like basically the same belief, like too much. Though they do not really talk about their religion all the time, but I feel like most of the time I was just always by myself. Like, so I would read when it's time for exams, you know, when it's break time, I would just sit, and I was to some extent very playful, right? So I would tease people in my class, like just tease people here and there, and then go back to my seat. And here I am today. I am doing fine. I have friends today. I am friends with people that want to be friends with me, and then people that don't want to be friends with me, I don't even make effort, because there's no time. If you have too many friends, like, okay, so what do you achieve from having a lot of friends? Like the popular adage or proverb says that 20 friends cannot be friends for 20 years. It's not possible. Everybody will move on, you know. So as a teenager, if that particular circle of friends, most enviable circle of girls and guys in your school, don't want to be friends with you, or if there are some do's and do's before you can join them, though, you can just be fine by yourself. Make friends with people that, you know, share the same belief with you, people that would impact you positively, that would help you academically, you know. Because in a matter of 4 years or 6 years, you're out of high school, and then all of you will just go to different, college, and you will meet new people there. So do not be under pressure. Don't feel like you have to be friends with, if you're not friends or if you're not part of this particular group, you will not be fine. So in your church, at home, in your school, you will just be fine by yourself. If you have to do some things or don't do some things to be friends, to be friends with some people, if those things are not good, like say you have to want to study with us, you have to have good grades, you will work hard to be part of them, because that's actually a good one. But if the rules and regulation will be like that of Brittany, that you have to not be on scholarship, you have to be intelligent to even be on scholarship to begin with. If you should not be friends with some people if you want to be friends with them. It's not like those people are bad people, they are good people too, but they just feel like if you want to be friends with them, you can't be friends with some people. Don't just forget about it. Or if you feel like if you're not rich, you can't be part of you can't be their friend. Why? Jesus in the Bible was friends with everyone, even with sinners. Like, he ate with them. So then lastly, so for as a teenager, know that Jesus can be your friend, your mom can be your friend, and all the other good people in your school, you can be friends with them. You don't have to be friends with some particular set of people if they are not helping you. And this Britney's friend were very bad people. Like, they would treat other students badly, they would look down on students that on scholarship and all those things. That's not good enough, right? So as a teenager, you don't want to be like Brittany. Brittany was on so much pressure, and she also put herself under so much pressure to, fit in. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to fit in, right? Just be yourself, study hard. In 6 years, you'll be out of high school, and you make new friends, meet new people. So you can be friends with people in your church, good people in your church, in your school, with the good ones, right? And just continue to be an ambassador, because you're first a face for Jesus, you're first a voice for Jesus before you're a voice of anything else, of any band. So you have to be conscious of being an ambassador for God. You have to be conscious of being an ambassador for the kingdom, right? And be less conscious of, say, peers and all those other things. You'll be fine just by yourself. I tell you, you'll be fine just by yourself. I prayed earlier today. I said, God, let me find friendship in you, Father. And I smiled, because I love the fact that it can actually be my friend, right? I can find comfort, with the presence of the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit can actually gist with you, right? You tell him your concerns, and he's there to listen. And then lastly, Chika. So yes, there's the cousin of Brittany who stood up for the other girl that they were maltreating, and I feel like that's just beautiful. So you stand for people in your school. When you see that they are treating others badly, do not just stand and look. Don't do that. Report to a teacher. Caution the one in question if it's someone that you can actually talk to. Right? Do not just look. That will not be good enough. And then lastly, the girl that was maltreated, she was, so what she said was like, I'll not be treated this badly if my parents were rich. If I wasn't here on scholarship, I'll not be. You are there on scholarship because you're brilliant, darling. Don't do that. Don't shift blame on people. Stand up for yourself. If anything happens to you, you can always do something about it. Right? You're there on scholarship already because you're intelligent. So it's not your parents' fault, not because your parents are poor that you're intelligent. And being intelligent is not even something you feel bad for. So don't say, if my parents were this, I will be that. If my mother was, leave that. Just drop it. Remove the entitlement mentality from your mind. you're just another child. Your parent is another person. Remember, your parents also have father, they also have mother. So they could be also feeling bad that it's because of their parents that they are not this rich, because actually there are some people that they are wealthy today because their grandparents were wealthy. So they got wealth passed down to them. So your parents could also be blaming it on their grand. So if you're blaming your parents, it's actually not your parents' fault. It's your grandparents, great grandparents' fault. So don't blame it on anybody. Stand up, speak for yourself, do something about your situation, and then remember, it's always a process. You don't start climbing a ladder from the beginning of the ladder. You actually start from down and then you continue to grow. But if you sit at the very bottom of the ladder crying, saying I wish I were rich, you will not get anywhere from sitting there. So if you're on scholarship or you're maltreated, just sit and stand for yourself. You're there. You're even almost better than most of them that are not on scholarship. Right, so do not feel bad or blame your situation on anybody. It's not nobody's fault that you're where you are. Say health-wise, it's not your parents' fault. They also got the genes passed down to them. Your height, it's not your parents' fault, so it also passed down to them. Right, and a lot of other things like that. Intellect, it's not your parents' fault, so it also passed down to them. Do not blame it. So always take up responsibility, right, and no pressure. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget the anchor, like I had a proverb and a Bible verse for this particular movie, which is the popular Yoruba one that my sister loved to use, right? Say when her daughter does something bad and you're saying, oh, and she says, Dara, see me, and then the child looks back and people are like, oh, she's just a child, she's just 1 year. She'll be like, Akinto Konra Kodi Meji. That is, you don't over pamper your only child and have 2 children for it, right? So train up a child, which leads us to the Bible passage. Train up a child in the way it should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. All the morals they need, spiritual training and grooming, give them now when they are older. When they grow up, even if they go astray, they always come back to it. My name is Mowunmi, aka Unisport. If you enjoyed this video, you want to drop a comment down below. Have you seen the movie too? Are there other things you think we should talk about about the movie? Please drop a comment. Tell me what you think about the movie. You also want to give this video a thumbs up, right? Also, you want to subscribe to my channel if you're here to subscribe, and hit on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video, till I come up again for another beautiful content, edifying content. You want to follow me on Instagram at uni.sport, on Twitter at Onimix, on Facebook I am Abaladi Mom, so you want to go follow me there. I love you so much. Keep reading LD, consuming good content, edifying content, and be conscious that you're first an ambassador, a voice for God, for Jesus, a face for God, for Jesus, before you're a voice of anything else. Thank you, and do have a great day ahead.